We're going to do something kind of fun right now. We had our mission trip to Mexico a couple weeks ago. We got back last week, and Tommy wants a donut. Somebody give Tommy a donut. But we had a unique trip. If you don't know, we've been taking this trip for years and years and years, and usually it's been a kind of a youth-centered trip where it's been mostly high school students. And last summer we kind of opened up to anybody, and then this summer we said, well, let's do a high school one, but it also ended up being kind of a college one, but also kind of a family one. So we ended up having a range of people on our Mexico mission trip between 7 years old and 57 years old. So a 50-year age gap, or inclusive. And so it was really special and really cool. And so on Father's Day, we're actually going to hear from the students when we come to our kind of our celebration Sunday in July over all the different mission trips that the students went on. And so this morning, since it's Father's Day, I want to do something different. And so we're going to have 3 of the dads who are actually on this trip with their sons, with their kids come out here, which is kind of unique because Brian here, he was there with Noah, who is 7. Todd was there with his daughter Ansley, who is 17, 16, 17?
Yeah, she's a
teenager, okay, high schooler. And Juan was there with his son who is 27. So we got 7, 17, 27 year-old kids. They're with their dads going on mission with them. And so I thought it would be, you guys already have a mic. I'll give one to Juan because Todd's going to talk too long. So I thought it would be unique for us on Father's Day to kind of ask them, about their experience going on mission, going on this trip with their kids, age 7, 17, and 27, as dads. And I got to tell you, it was really kind of cool. It was really special getting to experience this with these guys and to walk alongside them. Having been on this trip with all of my kids multiple times, to see them get to experience it with their sons was something unique and special. And so we don't have a chance to ask them about that. So maybe we'll just kind of go down the line real quick and why did you choose to go? I mean, Brian, why did you choose to go with a 7-year-old? Todd kind of makes sense because your daughter was actually supposed to be on the trip. And Juan, why did you go with Jonathan, 27? What was your motivation for going?
Well, at first, I don't know why, honestly. But the more I thought about it, when the opportunity came up, I wanted our children. I put it out to at least Abigail and Noah. And Madeline's a little too young, and I asked them because I wanted him to experience how good we have it here. I knew what third world countries and developing countries and people in need look like from my travels, and I wanted them to be exposed to that at a younger age. So when I explained what the trip was about, Noah's like, yeah, let's do it. Let's go and see this. So that was the biggest motivation, I think, was just for him to be able to see what we have and how good we have it.
Left me 30 minutes.
Nope.
To me, this trip, I've been on it a number of times. We were actually trying to count when we got back if that was 4 or 5. I couldn't remember. So, but to be able to see all the students on this trip. So I guess I'll answer this 2 ways. One, as a dad, to all of your children, seeing them as students. And so it's always been fun to go out there and watch them work and in a sense kind of be their guide. But as Kimberly said at one point, be the disciplinarian when she says they need to go do something, go tell them. So I'm not to be the bad guy. But watch them grow and see what they do as your students, but kind of be that parent looking on the side and watching them grow in their faith and their work. From a parent perspective, and I've seen this, and Tim's not here, but Tim Harkey, I remember when he would always go on, whether fall break road trip or mission trips with his boys, and he always expressed how much he loved to see them grow in their faith and their walk and their service. And so for me, this was a great opportunity to not only go partner with Ansley and work beside her, but to see her go be the hands and feet of Jesus and just do great work. And it was an honor and a privilege to be there with her.
Yeah, Jonathan has had an opportunity to go on multiple trips, and one of the things he wanted was for me to be able to share that with him. So we actually had originally planned on doing it last year, but we already had a trip scheduled, so we decided to basically block that time so I could do that with them this year. And it was great because, again, as your kids get older, it's harder to find that time to spend with them. So this is something that it was special for us to be able to serve together and worship together and enjoy spending time and serving a needy family out in Mexico. So it was really a great experience.
How was camping in a tent with your son for 5 nights? Is that fun?
It could have been better.
when you guys look back now, having gone on this trip with your sons, this happens to be, or daughter, with your kids, like, what do you feel like is the big takeaway you took? I mean, obviously you took an investment, you made, financial payments, you had to take time off work. Like, what was the dividends from that investment, would you say, long term for you and your relationship with your kid?
Well, for me, it turned out to be just a wonderful bonding experience with just one child. Being able to take Noah and spend that time and give him that, that one-on-one, attention really just brought us closer together. I think the biggest thing I think that we wound up taking away from the trip was I wanted him to see Christian behavior modeled by other adults, other dads, and then the students. I want him to see that it's okay to love Jesus, that it's okay to go out and serve and be maybe different than a lot of the world. And what I noticed and what I really took away, and I think he got, was to see these teenagers that went on the trip, to see them model that behavior for him was something that I will never forget, and I hope he never forgets. And we talked about it on our debrief day, but it's just this incredible, amazing thing to watch you guys and see that you have an influence on my child and on all my children. And I want to thank you for that experience again. And that's the thing that I think he's going to stick with. That's going to stick with him, was the ability to see Christian behavior modeled by generations. So thank you for that.
I would say some of the very similar things. One of the great things that came from this, in my opinion, was the college kids being with us. And I said this then, and I'll say it again, was that it was a blessing in the sense that they couldn't go to Haiti because they got to be with us. And for me, it's really important with Ansley because we sadly only have another year with her full time in the house. Her brother may be thankful for that, but for us as parents, we only have a year left with her, and she goes off to college. But to me, it was important because, it'll spur some conversations on her opportunities to be a leader through college and beyond that for other people who want to grow their faith. And, guys like Jeremy who say, I want to make someone smile every single day. To me, that's awesome to hear someone say that to a bunch of high school students. And so for me, it was great for all of them to be together. I agree with Brian there. And for us to be able to have those conversations going forward about our faith and how we can grow it and how the world is different. And when we go on vacations that are really nice vacations, what the rest of the world may have. And so just for us to continue to encourage our children and grow with them in their faith and our faith. Love you.
And I think, again, very similar. Jonathan has really gone through, from beginning through, through student life and all the different phases of that a lot of them are going through. So seeing, being able to see them, how they work, and then, thinking back, he was involved, and that's how he's gotten to the point that he has now is, going through all these different steps. So it definitely it was a great experience, not only spending the time with them, but actually getting to know all the students that went as well.
And I do have to give a shout out to Juan, and actually Noah too, because they actually made it 8 a.m. to 12 a.m. at Disneyland with me. So he's a survivor. Should have like a t-shirt, I survived, I made it. But no, truly it was an amazing trip because it was so intergenerational. And so you had like these kids that got to look up to the high school kids. You had the high school kids get to look up to the college kids. You had the college kids looking up to the 20-year-olds, and the 20-year-olds looking up to these young fathers, and the fathers looking up to, Juan, who's a grandpa. Sorry, I didn't know if I was supposed to say that out loud.
No, you weren't.
But you are, you know what I mean? And so getting to have a community where it's not just everybody, like the high school isn't just hang out with the high schoolers and the kids hang out with the kids and the college kids hang out with the kids. It was just one big family where everybody's interacting, everybody's getting to know each other. And so that's what, to me, church is supposed to be all about. So I want to thank you guys for taking that step. Can we thank these guys for coming up and sharing their hearts about what God did?